This morning, it's all about beer sort of thing. You know, and you can be a beer geek. You don't even have to be a beer geek to go to the Beer Fest, Brett.
That's correct.
Brett Hopper is the organizer of the Alberta Beer Festivals, which is this Friday and Saturday.
May 1st and 2nd.
Good stuff. And you're over at the BMO Center.
That's correct, the entire thing. So we're taking up all 5 halls.
Sample, right?
Yep,
that's
exactly.
That's your message. Go out there and sample.
Try as many as you can.
The young lady beside you, Jay Clark, who will be doing it all by herself, as she's established she likes doing things by herself. Community relations at Village Brewery. You've been there for about a year now?
Yeah.
Love the place.
I love it. It's a fantastic place to work.
Great beer.
Great community, great beer. You know, there's such opportunities to be involved in so many cool things happening in the community working with Village.
Man.
So it combines both loves, community and beer.
You know this guy beside you as well, too.
I do.
You're kind of rivals in some sort.
No, not rivals.
Personally, yes.
Yeah, personal rivals.
Socrates Korogonas, who is the owner, founder, CMO of Bear Hill Brewing Company. Boy, I'll tell you, talk about how daunting, again, we were mentioning it earlier, Jake, but how daunting it was for you guys to say, hey, let's try something. Let's see if this thing will work.
Yeah, we started brewing 10 years ago, and if we knew how hard it was, we probably wouldn't have done it. But, you know, 10 years later, we're opening our 4th location here in Calgary in almost 2 weeks. Last Best Brewing will be opening its tasting room doors. And, yeah, I think people are starting to become familiar with the product. We've been brewing here in Calgary for about 14 months.
Jeez.
So, yeah, there's the Show Pony Pale Ale, the Last Best IPA, a beer called There Will Be Porter, and the Dirty Bird Black Lager, which are all available at Beer Fest this weekend. We'll also be showcasing our other breweries from around the province and really making that Alberta beer stamp.
You love this. You love doing what you're doing today. Who would have thought a college guy would be doing this today, you know, 10 years after college or whatever it was? You're hanging out with beer all day long now, man.
Yeah, and you know,
what a dream job. It sounds like it is.
It's been fantastic. It's been a fun ride. And you know, 10 years ago, we had to explain to people what the difference between, you know, a lager and an ale was. And now we're starting to see these beer geeks develop, and we're starting to see people really embracing new and weird styles. And there seems to be an endless ceiling for us to improve and grow in the province and keep building. Calgary has some world-class beers right now, and because we're not super we don't have perfect representation like, you know, you would see on the West Coast or out east. There's these really hot pockets of beer, but Alberta's going to make a name for itself really quickly here.
Speaking of weird beer that you kind of mentioned there, can we talk about where the names come from for some of these beers? How do you guys come up with those?
Most of the time, well, for our company, it's a bunch of guys and a couple girls that really just spitball ideas and
after a couple of pints.
There's usually pints. Yeah,
There's always pints involved.
Yeah, our office has a draft system, that's for sure. But yeah, we just try and have fun with it. Beer's not supposed to be crazy or pretentious. It's definitely the everyman's drink, and you know, now with all the flavors out there, every man can, or every woman can find a beer that they love.
Oh, there's something Saki brings up, every woman as well too. Is there a resurgence, or maybe not a resurgence, but is there more of a women are drinking beer more often? Is that what you're finding?
Absolutely. I think the female segment, and especially in craft beer, is growing in leaps and bounds. It's no longer just a boys' drink. It's, you know, there's a lot of women who are very involved in the craft beer industry. There's you know, there's some fantastic people who are helping drive the industry, some fantastic women. And I think a lot more women are starting to enjoy beer. And I think one of the big things with craft beer that makes it so interesting is that you can pull out so many different flavor profiles from the beer that's being made, and you can pair it differently with different meals, and it becomes, you know, an intellectual experience as well as just a drinking beer. It becomes, you know, you can play around with the flavors and taste different things, and it's not just the fruity beers that women are drinking anymore. Women are drinking the big hoppy IPAs and the dark porters and all the different styles, and it's a huge growing segment for all of us.
And there's the opportunity to pair at Beer Fest as well this weekend, right? So you guys have courses and.
Well, yeah, the perfect opportunity would be our Cooking with Beer seminars, where people will learn how you can put beer into certain dishes, but also how you can pair them. But yeah, it's a perfect opportunity at the festival.
We need better representation, Sock.
Yeah, I think so.
And I say we, the breweries here in Alberta.
Yeah, we're a little bit underrepresented compared to, like, per capita compared to the other provinces. But it doesn't mean, we do get a lot of exposure now because we are making fantastic beers, and I think that's what's really going to drive it. And the enthusiasm is everywhere. And
It seems to be there, yeah.
we've got these amazing craft beer halls in the city that really try and push locally. But, you know, when you have 70 to 100 taps, you have to fill them with something, and I'd love to see that more of those taps being Alberta beers, and I think that starts at the consumer, right? Trying to identify with freshness and finding those beers that they really love, and us being able to produce them for them.
Yeah.
So.
Well, and I think that's a big thing is all the breweries working together, all the small breweries, you know, we're leaps and bounds ahead of where we were 2 years ago. We now have an Alberta Small Brewers Association. We're starting to sort of make some efforts to work together to grow the segment better, and that's the best thing about where we are right now in Alberta Beer is we're kind of at this crux where we're helping establish what the industry is going to be in Alberta, and we have an opportunity to see it grow exponentially right now. And the more we work together, and the more that we you know, put together solid efforts to grow the market in Alberta and grow the number of breweries, the number of brew pubs, the amount of beer being produced here, the better it is for all of us.
And I get that impression that you all do work together too.
People are learning about how to make beer too.
Exactly.
We've got Olds College up the road too. They're a fantastic group of students. They're already being hired in BC and Alberta just to help bring up that representation.
Yeah.
Yeah, really, and we really do all try and work together. And the more that we can grow the craft segment in Alberta and make this more of a destination, the better. And you know, if we can drive people to come in and be beer tourists in Alberta, I mean, that would be fantastic for everyone in the province and for the economics of the province.
Well, you know, we talk about California where they have all of these wineries that you can go visit. Well, why not come to Alberta and check out all these breweries?
Actually, speaking of that, like, I don't know if anyone wants to do a farm tour, but Alberta does grow the best two-row malted barley for the purpose of malting in the world, and we send that stuff to Scotland to be turned into Scotch, and we send that stuff to California to be turned into beer, which and we just buy it back, and it is our responsibility to make beers that Albertans really relate to, but at the end of the day, it's right in front of us. It's malted down the street in Calgary.
Yeah, and the ability to showcase this locally produced ingredient that we use in our beer is we're pretty lucky that it's right there.